Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and getting sicker. And in this world, you have two kinds of people. You have people that have very short memories. They forgive, they forget. I always say forgive because forgiveness is for your internal peace, but never ever forget. And then there are some people that have very long memories. They don't forgive, they don't forget. They hold things in a vindictive way. These are mostly 99.999% of the time women. But it seems like President Trump may be one of those people, because the beauty that is right on the screen next to me with that stash. Oh my God, how can anyone look at that and find that attractive? That is John Bolton. And today, Mr. Bolton, his house, his office, they were raided this morning by the FBI. And this is something that he should have expected. We're going to get into why he was raided today. I don't know if this is Trump being vindictive or if this was a case of national security. But this was an interview that John Bolton did a few years ago after Donald Trump had his home raided in Mar-a-Lago, and he seems pretty well. Let's let John speak for himself. This is by the way, just before I start, this is a guy who loves war. He loves to put the American people in harm's way. He loves to send troops over, and he's in charge. He loves regime change, and he loves bombings, and he loves drone attacks. He loves all this shit. Now, of course, he's never going to send his kids or grandkids over there. He's going to send your children and my children over there because we're worthless pawns to this. Oh, I don't even want to say it, but he is a war hawk, and he's undoubtedly an Israeli supporter. But this is the type of person. This is the boomer bastards we have to get rid of. We have to get out of government because they have this singular one-track way of thinking that puts everybody else in danger and puts money in their pocket. But this is from MSNBC. This is from a few years ago. This is right after the Mar-a-Lago raid by the FBI, and here is old John.
Moment. But I don't think he cared about the classification system. I don't think he appreciated the sensitivity of this information, and he didn't appreciate the sensitivity of how it was often acquired, the so-called sources and methods. So this had been briefed to him before I arrived. It was repeated frequently. I think it simply had no impact on him whatever.
There's a couple of different ways that people think about this, and people who are not friendly to the president who think about what's happened here. And one of them is, Donald Trump, master thief, criminal, running some kind of elaborate conspiracy to bring things out of the White House and keep them secret for potentially for political or financial gain. There are other people who his attitude is Trump is chaotic. He's careless. He's not that smart. He took these things almost by mistake, and now he's basically stamping his feet and saying they're mine. I don't want to give them up. Give me a sense of where you think the truth lies with respect to Trump's intelligence, carelessness, and the degree to which he might have brought motive to bear on taking these documents out of the White House and keeping them for this long at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, it's very hard to speculate on motive other than that he liked cool things. He saw things so he wanted to take them, and he was pretty much able to take them, and not just on classified information matters, on all kinds of things that crossed his desk. Some days he liked to eat a lot of French fries. Some days he took classified documents. He wanted them. Why did he want them? Because he could get them.
So what John says here is that Trump took classified documents, top secret documents with him when he wasn't supposed to. Now, poor John, the reason why his home was raided and his offices were raided today was because it seems like he made a little bit of a faux pas. In November of 2020, Bolton wrote a memoir, and in this memoir possibly has some sensitive top secret information in it. Bolton is now 76 years old. He served Trump as his third national security advisor in April 2018. He was fired from that position in September of 19 when he began drafting this tell-all about his time in the Trump White House, which is kind of weird. The book, entitled The Room Where It Happened, was released in June of 2020 following a prolonged review by White House National Security Council that delayed publication. Now, it's weird that National Security Council, Trump's National Security Council, reviewed this book, and at the time, I guess they didn't find anything. In April and May of 2020, Bolton's words were scrutinized by members of the NSC, including Ellen Knight, a staff member detailed from the National Archives who specializes in classification. Bolton claimed Knight gave him verbal approval for the publication of the book, even with a supplemental review, even while a supplemental review was going on. On June 17, 2020, however, the Justice Department sought an emergency court order blocking the publication of this book. A lot of people believe that there were ulterior motives to block this book from coming out in June of 2020. Remember, there was a presidential election happening 6 months later. The White House also filed a civil suit against Bolton, demanding the release date set for the 6 days later be shifted back. The Trump administration claimed that Bolton broke a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, signed as a condition of his employment. The ex-advisor publisher, Simon & Schuster, what tribe are they from, accused the administration in turn of undertaking a, and I quote, politically motivated exercise in futility. Well, you know, the publishers should also be responsible for this, shouldn't they? I mean, they're the ones who have editors. I mean, publishers have editors. If you've ever worked in a publishing house, they have editors who say, you know what, we can't put this in. We'll leave this out. So they should be held responsible as well. Arrest all of these people. That's what I say. A federal judge ruled in Bolton's favor. Well, he should be arrested too then. And the book was published on June 23rd, 2020. Bolton became the target of subsequent federal criminal probes for allegedly disclosing sensitive national security information. This happened last Saturday. This is according to the New York Times. After Joe Biden took office in 2021, the Bolton probe was shut down that June for political reasons, end quote. This was said to the New York Post on Friday by an anonymous U.S. official. The Justice Department, in an effort to recoup profits from the book, have also set aside after attorneys for Knight submitted a letter to the federal judge overseeing the case, claiming she had been pressured by the Trump White House to falsely declare this book containing classified information. You never leave a woman in charge of something like this. You never, ever have a woman in charge of something massive like this, because they fold, they lie, they're cowards, and this is too much for some broad to take on her own. This was way too much. She shouldn't have been in charge of this. And let me tell you something. I'm not defending Bolton. I wouldn't be surprised dollars to donuts if this dumb bitch screwed up somehow. Wouldn't surprise me at all. After refusing to play along, Knight claimed she was passed over for a prominent NSC position. Of course, because she's a woman and she has standards. Bolton's residence in Bethesda, Maryland, was raided by the FBI agents in connection with the probe involving classified documents, with FBI Director Kash Patel posting on X, "No one is above the law at FBI agents on mission." So that was done before the raid, which was kind of like, here we come. It was kind of like a warning, a dubious, ominous warning. But this guy, Kash Patel, seems like a nut anyway. I mean, he has those crazy chick eyes. U.S. officials familiar with the investigation have said it's not limited to Bolton's book, and no one And no one is saying if it has evolved into a larger classified leaking probe that extended into the Biden administration. The statute of limitations on most federal crimes involving classified documents is 5 years from the date of the offense was committed, meaning that the feds are likely to run out of time to charge Bolton with any offenses related to the publication of his memoir. If that's the case, why wait so long? They should have just arrested him on January 22nd, right? The minute Trump gets sworn in, sweep into this guy's house and arrest him. Trump has criticized he is funny. Trump has criticized Bolton as a nut job, quote unquote nut job, and quote moron, while Bolton has frequently appeared on CNN. Well, there goes his credibility, to return fire over the 47th president's foreign policy decisions. Now, Bolton is the last guy who should be talking about foreign policy decisions. Remember, he was George Bush's advisor as well, and about going into Iraq and Afghanistan. Look how that ended up. The morning of the raid, Bolton posted a message on X criticizing Trump's attempt to end the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Quote, meetings will continue because Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize. This is Bolton, by the way. But I don't see these talks making any progress. The message from the ex-advisor read in part, quote, I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. Oh, sorry. This is Trump. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually, Trump told reporters of Bolton. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do, end quote. So, again, we have a saga here. And we have a saga that is just going to continue and continue and continue and continue. Now, Bolton should have realized that any type of book, any type of publication that he makes against Trump, it was going to bite him in the ass sooner or later. They were going to do something to him to make his life miserable. And he should have known that. I guess he had a lot of money coming to him. Simon & Schuster doesn't seem like a very Trump-friendly place. And they probably offered him a lot of money. And they definitely wanted this book to come out before the 2020 election in November. Apparently, Trump had asked Bolton not to publish this book before the 2020 election. And Bolton said, go stuff it. So what happens? Well, you fuck with the bull, you get the horns. Now, Bolton, it doesn't, these guys never go to jail, so no one's going to jail. No one's going to suffer the consequences of this. This is more of an embarrassing episode. They wake you up at 5:30 in the morning. The FBI goes through your house. They search your underwear drawer. They do all that bullshit. And now you have to do this whole thing. I think we got footage over here from X about the they don't show you the inside or anything, but let's see all these crazy things. This is from Fox News.
Zooming in from the camera view that we're here, and they're obviously still there, as you can see. They're zooming in from the camera view that we have right outside of the home. This was an investigation that was ordered by FBI Director Kash Patel, a Trump administration official, telling the Post, but asking to remain anonymous. Now, what's interesting is right before this took place, FBI Director Kash Patel posted this cryptic message on social media as he said, quote, no one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission.
So there you have it there. But Bolton should have known better. Bolton should have waited till, wait till after the election. January of 2021, wait till all this stuff happened and just clear yourself. But I don't think anybody could have foreseen Trump winning again. I think people thought Trump would go away, and the guy's more of an egomaniac than anything else, because he wanted to show that he didn't lose that second election, and frankly, he didn't. It was stolen from him. But Bolton is now going through the political motions of vindictiveness. Bolton said in a 2020 USA Today interview that then President Donald Trump didn't want Bolton's tell-all memoir coming out at all, and especially before the election. Now we don't know if this has anything to do with the book or the fact that Bolton and Trump are enemies. J.D. Vance has come out and said that this is not targeted. This is not personal. This has everything to do with national security. I wouldn't believe a damn thing J.D. Vance says. J.D. Vance is, Trump's little boy, little fat frat boy. So I would not believe anything J.D. Vance says. I mean, the guy's married to an Indian, by the way, for God's sakes. Can you imagine? He's one heartbeat away from being president. We're going to have like Vishnu in the White House. No, please, no. Rick DeSantis, please. But that's the big news for today. And I keep wanting to do a movie or music review Friday. Keep it light. But these crazy things just keep happening. Maybe next week what I'll do is I'm going to do something like that. I got to pick a movie, and I'll spin a wheel and pick a movie or pick a record, and then we'll do a review. I mean, I've seen a lot of movies and I've heard a lot of records, but we'll do something fun. I got to just figure that out, how to do these reviews. I see people doing them on YouTube and other places all the time, but they just seem boring after like 5 minutes. But the question that I got off topic majorly, but the question that I have now is, and this is the more important question: is Donald Trump, the Orange Messiah, being vindictive? Because if he is, that's a woman. That's female behavior. If Bolton let out national security secrets that put the country at risk or put Americans in danger, fine, fuck him. Put him under the jail. But if this was something that was, I'm going to get you back, that's what women do. Don't you have other important things to do? I mean, John Bolton is a zero. He's a nobody. Guy is 76, 77 years old. He's not going to jail. I mean, what are you going to do? Freeze his assets? I mean, nothing's going to become of this. So what's the point? I mean, okay, you want to embarrass him, you embarrassed him, great. But other than that, I mean, this has everything to do with more of Trump's ego rather than national security. That's what I think. And this is why it happened on a Friday. So people will forget about it on Monday. That's how politics and media work. You always do something on a Friday. Usually they do things on Friday afternoon, early Friday evening, because people aren't home watching the news. They're usually out to dinner with the family, or they're out, after work having drinks, or maybe they're getting ready to go out. Friday is kind of like a dead news day. And then once the weekend comes, people are out and about. They're not paying attention to anything. And then the news cycle restarts on Monday. So this is probably more of like that. I'm guessing, I'm thinking, maybe not. But yeah, John Bolton fucked with the bulls, fucked with the horn, and I screwed that up. He fucked with the bull, and he got the horns, and he got the orange horns at that. All right, well, that's my 2 cents. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. Satan is always busy, and he has a very long memory. He remembers everything in his mama. Be a man. Have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And just remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.